So before we start, I just wanted to say thank you guys for doing this, because when I went through this with my grandmother after my mom had passed away, she had everything in order. She had done all the legal stuff, all the medical stuff, and it was still awful for me personally going through all of it. And she had it all in order. So for you guys to be able to explain to the community how to navigate this, what to understand, what questions to ask, I think is a real service. And so from personal experience, I appreciate that you're doing that. So the general theme today is navigating the certainty of aging. We all know we're gonna age. We all know this is gonna happen. The question is, how do we work our way through it? Let's just kind of start with some of the basics. Stacy, what is home care?
Home care is, what we do is we provide all the non-medical care in the home, or wherever an older person may call home. So anything from your light housekeeping, your laundry, your errands, your shopping, even personal care services. We do provide Alzheimer's and dementia care services. All of our caregivers and home health aides do go through Alzheimer's and dementia training, and it is endorsed by the Alzheimer's Association. So that's something that we're very proud of. I think, with the caregivers, it really is important to make sure that they are fully trained. And of course, something else that's really important is to make sure that people know that when you're looking around for home care, is to make sure that they are, they have the fingerprinting, which is very important. Make sure that they have all their background checks, motor vehicle checks, making sure that they do have education in place. I think that a lot of families, they're not quite sure what questions to ask, and those are important questions to ask when you're shopping around for home care. Right now, Home Instead, we've been doing virtual care as well. And what's really neat about virtual care right now is that we're trying to reduce traffic in the home. And of course, it's a great communication tool between us, the caregivers, and the clients. And the clients also have communication with their family members as well. So our home care tablet is very easy to use. This is it right here. So we're very proud of this. And, I think it's going to be the future of home care.
Stacy, who pays for home care, and do you have to sign a contract?
No, you don't have to sign a contract. We actually call it a service agreement. So you're just agreeing that to use our services in the home. And really the way that we set it up is to protect the caregiver and the client themselves. So the service agreement also talks about payment. So different ways to pay for home care is, the first one is private pay. Insurance does not pay for us unless you have long-term care insurance. And I know that was something that Jason talked about earlier. I really try to encourage the families to look into that, whether it's, for themselves or if it's for their parents, if they do qualify for long-term care. There's some great policies out there that have hybrid, so they can get life insurance and long-term insurance together. And so then they never lose the money. Another way that can pay for home care is VA. So VA does pay for our services. You can go to Aid in Attendance and track to see if you are able to qualify for Aid in Attendance.
Stacy, what are the different levels of care that home care services provide?
Well, there's 3 levels of care. You have just companionship, which is, more if someone just needs respite care or if they just need someone to sit with them and have conversation. The next level of care is home care. So you would have more of like your light housekeeping, your laundry, your errands, your shopping, even cooking meals, going to the doctor. I mean, those are all things that people need to stay home. We have personal care services too. So that's your bathing, grooming, incontinence issues. And then we also do specialty care. So it'd be Alzheimer's, dementia care, even hospice support for people that are bedbound.
Stacy, what's the sort of the minimum and maximum amount of time that home care can spend in the home?
Well, the minimum can be here at Home Instead is 2 days, and it's just a 4-hour shift. So something that, someone might just need some light housekeeping and maybe some doctor's appointments, just very minimal amount of care. But we can provide up to 24-hour care. So it depends on what their needs are. If they're coming out of a rehab situation, sometimes they'll need a lot of care in the beginning. And then just like what Shay was saying, they can taper off as they get better. Sometimes if they're in a hospice situation, they might just need a minimal in the beginning. And as things start to progress, then we can increase services. So it really just depends on the needs of the person, and it also depends on financial need as well. So if somebody is a little bit wary about how much they can afford, we try to work within that budget as well. So, there's a lot of different variables, and, like I said, we just really try to work with the family and figure out what's going to be best for them and their loved one.
Are there signals that you look for, or that a senior could look for to know that, home care is something I should start considering, that maybe this is the right next move for me?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, a rehab situation is a perfect scenario where they're coming out of the hospital or they're coming out of rehab and they need to come home and they want to stay home as long as possible. And home can be anywhere. It can be in a traditional home, it can be in an ALF, and it can actually be in long-term care. That can be their home. So if we want to try to get them back to where they feel comfortable so they can age in place as long as possible, that is the goal that we have in place. So, really going back to, figuring out a plan for them. What we do is whenever we start care, we start with a consult, out to the home, we do an assessment. And from there, we can start services usually within about 24 hours. And that is really catered to the needs that they need in the home. So, for example, most people, they need services. This is just an average. It's about 25 hours a week. So if you can figure, break that up into, just a few days, every other day, someone might need care. We come in for, 6 hours a day, maybe longer, and do those things that might be the most difficult part of their day, where it might be in the morning, their morning routine where they have to take their meds, eat their breakfast, get dressed. Those are times that, where they can have another fall, and we don't want to end them back up in the hospital. So to encourage those routines to get back to normal, we could do those and make sure that they're in the home. And of course, we can do a nighttime routine as well. So that's something to think about as well.
Plus, it's cool. Somebody helps you open the pickle jar, somebody helps you do the sweeping, whatever needs to be done, they help you with it, right?
It is yes, it is having your own personal caregiver. And I tell people all the time, it's like matchmaker. We get the right person in there. It's like dating. Everybody is happy, including my employee. So, because my goal is to have that balance, make sure I have employees that are happy and make sure that the client and the family is happy. And, really, if we can accommodate all those, then we're good to go.
Can the same caregiver be assigned to every shift, or does there have to be rotation? You were talking about matching people. So how does that work?
Well, like I said, it goes back to how many hours that the client is getting. So if they're just getting the minimum of the 2 days a week, the 4-hour shift, or even if it's just a 5-day-a-week shift, that's a perfect job for a home health aide or a CNA. And we do try to provide where we get that perfect match. 9 times out of 10, I think we get it right. If we don't, we can always make a change. And I tell families that all the time. This is not someone that you have to have permanently in your home. And it same goes with the caregivers as well. If they're not comfortable in a client's home, then we'll change them somewhere else. So there is that balance. Now, if somebody is getting 24-hour care, which people, they do, they get 24-hour care. And we've had many clients over the years that have used us for years on end for 24-hour care. And yes, they do. They have a rotation of caregivers. And they've got their favorites. And it just works. They become family. And we really try to make sure that, everybody is, like I said, happy. And so we can just keep them aging in place as long as possible, because that is the ultimate goal. Hi, I'm Stacy Robello. I'm the owner-administrator for Home Instead in Pensacola, Florida. We provide care for older adults wherever they call home. Things such as light housekeeping, laundry, errand shopping, even personal care services, and Alzheimer's and dementia care in the home. We employ home health aides and CNAs that provide these services. If you live in the Pensacola area, such as Escambia County or Santa Rosa County, you can give us a call at 477-1947.